Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. From outside the United States of America, this country looks brighter, better, more beautiful. Everything is fantastic. It is fantastic, but not at that level. Once you enter this country, which is the United States of America, you realize that, one thing is the PR and what you see from outside, and the other one is real life. You understand how much the government taxes you. You understand corruption. You understand who's who, what's what groups are over there, what the role the mass media plays here. Because from outside, the mass media in the United States of America is the fairest and most fantastic media, and everything is better here. Since I believe this is the greatest country in the world, still. I needed about maybe a year after I landed here to realize that no, it's not really like that. And little by little, maybe after about 5 years, I realized, or at least I started having doubts that this union will survive in the next, I said, about 15 to 20 years. I said, within 20 years, as the way I see the groups pushing and the mass media being around, I said, this is not going to work. Why? It seems like there are some forces here that pull us apart. And consequences of that seem to be some people don't want to live with other people because some people would like to have the other people erased from the society, and maybe even more, and that's wrong. So what's going on right now in Texas with the federal government and the state government, and with the border, which I think is a travesty, that is, the border should be secured 100%. That's by default. It's like your house, spit. This is how your house, the door should be locked. Locked. Nobody enters. Whomever enters, you receive that guy with something from the Second Amendment in your hand. Get the fuck out. All right? Call the police. In this case, United States cannot call the police, but it has to enforce its laws. Don't enter my property. All right. So, and I claimed in that video that the situation gets worse, this country will have a separation. And as you probably know, there's 25 states in the United States of America currently that support Governor Abbott of Texas in securing the border and fighting the federal government. Well, it's a shame because they're not pulling in the same direction, which is the direction of the United States of America and the United States of America's citizens' interest. So we have here an article from Business Insider, and this is from today, January 27th, 2024, and it says that Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene says that it's time for a divorce, a national divorce between red and blue states amid Texas border standoff over migration. Let me show you. Here is the article. So Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene calls for national divorce, quote unquote, between red and blue states amid Texas border standoff over migration. Well, see, these Business Insiders are weasels over illegal migration, not migration. Migration, this is just a neutral term here. Migrating, but they're not talking about that kind of migrating. Illegal, that is trespassing, entering, breaking the law to enter a property without the owner, the American citizen's approval, agreement. So that is illegal. That's breaking the law. I want you to do the same. I don't tell you to do that, but just imagine that someone goes to the White House, jumps over the fence that is right there, and tries to enter the White House. What do you think will happen and why? for the exact reason where everyone who would do the same thing entering this country will be apprehended, face down, thrown out. Easy, clear, legal. So we have Marjorie Taylor Greene calling for national divorce between Democratic and Republican states. That will not do it, baby doll. That will not do it. Because you already import certain kind of the other side. And when you say Republican, you think the Republicans are like Republicans? What is Republican? The people who vote Republican are a certain kind. And from within that, you have the Trump voters, which are less than the Republican. Do we get them all? I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. Because I think you should work with both together. You can't just say, well, based on this ideology, this is the way. Yes, there are some principles, some basic principles, private property, individual rights, and all that. Yes, I understand that one. Better than the common good, which, yes, should be to a certain extent. Because right now, in the name of common good, these guys give us mandates in the name of common good. And if you do something they don't like, you destroy the common good. You're a threat. So those guys should be on the other side, not with us. So when you say in Democratic and Republican states, right here, I think that's really not enough. I use the euphemism instead of saying that's just a no. Now I'm not pushing for this because I still think that this country could be rescued, even though we are at the 11th or the 23rd hour of the day. Actually, we are right there. It's just a little bit. You are about to how do you call it? Reach critical mass. You're done. Well, you can't come back anymore. It's like you jumped over a cliff and you're done. You can, hey, I'm coming back. No, you're not. So the Georgia representative, and this is Business Insider again, suggests it in response to the standoff over, again, migration. It's not about migration. See, that's why I started my channel, because of these guys. At the Texas, it's not migration, it's illegal trespassing in the country. That's the word that should be used. If we are to tell the truth, this is a weasel talk. The dispute between GOP Texas Governor Abbott and the federal government has been intensifying. The representative called for a, I'm quoting, national divorce between red and blue states amid the escalating state. Okay, over again, third time, migration. And I'm quoting, when I said we need a national divorce, this is exactly what I'm talking about, and a serious example as to why, she wrote. Greene's national divorce idea is not new. Listen to this, what's going on, and I'm going to be done with the article. She has often suggested splitting up the United States along political lines. This is Business Insider. But it is divisive. That's what a divorce is. Business Insider, that's what it is. It's divorce means a division. I cannot live with you, or you cannot live with me. We're going to go and we're going to divorce peacefully using a judge. In this case, we don't need a judge because it's just you and I. Right? You go with you, you're going to do, I wish you all the luck in the world, and I hope you create your own life better than with me. And the same thing is true for me. I will go on my own. We're going to see after a while who succeeds and who doesn't succeed. That's the easiest way. What ideology? Because you can't have some people that are producers and the other ones who are just the ticks in a society. But the ticks have a megaphone and there are some of them in positions of power. You cannot have that perversion of meritocracy. Let's be mild again. So I think it's going to be inevitable. That's my in time. And I think it's going to come not ideologically, like, oh, Republican, Democrat. No, it's going to come, I think, based on tribe membership. That's what's going to end up. There are going to be some people with a lot of grievances towards other people, other groups, that they will say, you know what, in their disillusion, delusionals, well, let's put it this way, when they say, well, we can make it on our own, but give us this. And I can give you a few names, but they don't do it because they know someone has to work. And you can't have a divorce from someone who is bringing the money. If you stay in the basement and play video games all the time, but you are the boss, that stupid horse that works all the time and brings you the money so you can boss her around or him around, at one time is going to say, wait a minute, enough is enough. You produce your thing, I'm going to produce my thing. And see who is going to have a better life. Maybe we have a different vision of life. And some have. No, Republicans and Democrats. The parties, when she talks about Republicans and Democrats, the parties are the same. It's one party. One party. They call it differently. It's because one has a mustache or whatever, goatee, and the other one doesn't have. But they are identical twins with the same biological parents. They're the same. So these kids are fed by the same, coming from the same source. How do you think they will just react? Independently? This is what they give, the interests in this country. And those interests are not only in this country. Unfortunately, they are trying to be global. That's why we have the garbage in Ukraine. One big reason. So, yeah, it's going to be a divorce. It's going to be divisive. Of course it's going to be divisive. What do you have right now? Do you have unity? What does unity mean? Well, you need to stay united based on some values. What are the values? Well, there are some new values canceling the old values. So what does that mean? That means that some people cancel other people. I told you, they want us to be with them as long as we work, shut the fuck up, and they are in control with their soybean latte. But they are the intellectuals somehow. Okay? Now, will that be happening? I'm suspecting if that will be happening, I think it's going to be a bloody one. I don't think these guys, the weasels would allow the producers to produce only for them and not have the ticks sucking their blood, which is the product of these guys' work. So yeah, Greene speaks like that. Obviously, these guys are upset about it. They should be, because they're afraid. Without us, they will be like a rib without the body, rotting. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.